Welcome back to Newton Kit Academy, where we make your dreams come true. I'm Arunima ma'am, and today I'm going to discuss on class 12 biology topic. So let's begin the video. So we begin with introduction to ecology. So what is ecology? Basically, it is a study of interactions we are having between various organisms and their environment. Next is level of organization. Under that we have organism, we have population, community, also we have biome, we have biosphere, and also the ecosystem. Next we have population attributes. So in that we will study about population firstly. So what is population? It is a group of individuals of same species which are occupying a particular area. And under that also falls population density, population size, and also distribution. Age distribution and also sex ratio of the entire population. That is entirely about the population attributes. Now we come to the third topic, that is population growth. So there we have exponential growth, we have logistic growth, and also carrying capacity. What is exponential growth? It is the idealized population growth, okay, which is having unlimited resources in the environment. Next we come to logistic growth. Inside logistic growth, the population growth is constrained by some limiting factors of the environment. Thirdly, the carrying capacity. The maximum population size that an environment can withhold is called the carrying capacity. The next point is population interactions. So there is competition, there is predation, symbiosis, and also mutualism. What is competition? Interaction between individuals for limited resources. Predation is interaction between individuals or organisms as in a predator and prey relationship. Symbiosis is where there is a mutual relationship between two organisms where they help each other to survive in this earth. And the final one is mutualism, which is also like symbiosis. Here both of the species are benefited from one another. The last interaction is commensalism. In that one species is benefited, another one is affected. Last one is parasitism. Here one species is benefited and the other one is harmed. So there is a difference between commensalism and parasitism. In parasitism, one of the species is harmed, whereas in commensalism, one is affected. That effect may not harm the individual. Our next point is adaptation. So here structural, physiological, behavioral adaptations are there in this topic, and also adaptation for survival, for reproduction, and also for the resource acquisition. So all these things are adaptation. So we have to adapt to our environment, otherwise we will be naturally deselected. So next we come to ecological succession. So it is a process of ecosystem development over a period of time. There are two other stages, primary and secondary succession. In primary succession there is colonization of barren land, and in secondary succession there is recovery of an ecosystem after disturbance. Now we start with ecosystem services. So provisioning, regulating, supporting, and cultural services are provided by the ecosystems like air and water purification, like pollination, and also nutrient recycling. Our next point is biodiversity. So variety of life forms in an ecosystem. Genetic diversity, species diversity, and also ecosystem diversity falls in here. Importance of biodiversity for ecosystem stability and also human well-being. This is a very important point, that stability is always has to be attained. So here also ecosystem stability has also an important role to play in human well-being. Now conservation of biodiversity. So protected areas, habitat restoration, captive breeding, sustainable resource management, all these things are very important part of conserving our biodiversity. The last point for today is global environmental issues. So here we have climatic changes, ozone depletion, deforestation, loss of biodiversity, and also pollution. And internal agreements are there, and also the conventions for environmental conservation. So importance of biodiversity. There is ecological importance and there is economic importance as well. So ecological importance includes maintenance of ecosystem stability. Okay. Ecological importance includes maintenance of ecosystem stability, resilience to environmental changes, nutrient cycling, and ecosystem services. Now we come to economic importance. The source of food, medicine, raw materials, genetic resources, for agriculture and industry is encompassed within the economic importance. There's another part which is the cultural importance. So spiritual, aesthetic, recreational and cultural values are also associated with the biodiversity. So this is all about the biodiversity. Now we come to ecosystem. So first of all, we have to learn about what is an ecosystem. So ecosystem is basically interconnected system of living organisms, be it biotic, that is living, and abiotic factors, that is non-living. Okay? And the components are producers, consumers, decomposers, soil, water, air, etc. Now we come to the structural components of ecosystem. The structural components of ecosystem includes autotrophs, heterotrophs and decomposers. Autotrophs are the producers, the organisms which make their own food with the help of raw materials through photosynthesis is called the autotrophs. Heterotrophs are the consumers. These organisms, they consume food which are prepared by the producers. Now we come to the decomposers. So decomposers are organisms that break down the dead organic matter into simpler substances. So all of them are required for our ecosystem to work in a proper way. So all the three components are very essential for a healthy working of an ecosystem. Now we come to types of ecosystem. There are majorly two types of ecosystem. One is terrestrial, another one is aquatic. So terrestrial ecosystem includes forest, grassland, tundra, even desert. Whereas in aquatic ecosystem we have fresh water, that is lakes, rivers, and marine, that is oceans, estuaries, coral reefs, etc. Now we come to ecological pyramids. So in the ecological pyramid, there is pyramid of number, pyramid of biomass, energy. All these are encompassed within the ecological pyramids. All of these pyramids, they represent the hierarchical organization of trophic levels in an ecosystem. The next thing we have is biogeochemical cycles. There are majorly three cycles we have covered here. First is carbon cycle, then comes nitrogen cycle, finally the phosphorus cycle. So first we'll discuss about carbon cycle. Movement of carbon atoms to the atmosphere, biosphere, hydrosphere and lithosphere. That encompasses the entire carbon cycle. Then we come to nitrogen cycle. So in the nitrogen cycle, conversion of nitrogen gas into organic compounds by nitrogen fixing bacteria and its subsequent recycling through soil and plants and animals. That is the entire nitrogen cycle. Finally, the last one is phosphorus cycle, which is a cycling of phosphorus through rocks, through salt, through water and through living organisms. That is all about the phosphorus cycle. Now we come to ecological succession. So what is ecological succession? The process of change in the structure and composition of an ecosystem over a period of time. So it is the ecosystem which changes in the structure and composition over a given period of time is the ecological succession. So there are two kinds of succession we will know about. First is primary succession, then comes the secondary succession. So primary succession includes colonization of barren land by pioneer species, and secondary succession is recovery of an ecosystem after disturbance. These 2 points of succession are very important to note. Now we come to the conservation of ecosystem. So the key concepts here are importance of preserving biodiversity and ecosystem integrity, conservation strategies, protected areas, sustainable land management, restoration of degraded ecosystems and public awareness. So thus we complete the entire chapter. Now I will discuss 10 important questions on this, and after that I will also provide you with a practice question from this entire unit. So let's start with the 10 important questions from this topic. So the very first question is, which of the following defines ecosystem? Which of the following defines ecosystem? The options are, option number A, a single organism in an environment. Option number B is, A community of organisms interacting with each other and their physical environment. Third option is the study of individual organisms and their behavioral patterns. The fourth option is the process of evolution with a population. So, what will be the correct option? The correct option is option number B. The next question is, what is the primary source of energy for most ecosystems on the earth? So, what is the primary source of energy for most of the ecosystems on earth? What are the options? The options are wind, water, sunlight and geothermal heat. So, I repeat the options: wind, water, sunlight and geothermal heat. The answer is option number C, that is sunlight. We come to question number 3. Which of the following is not a greenhouse gas? I repeat the question. Which of the following is not a greenhouse gas? Option A, carbon dioxide. Option B, methane. Option C, oxygen. And option D, nitrous oxide. I am repeating the options. So, option A is carbon dioxide. Option B is methane. Option C is oxygen. And option D is nitrous oxide. So, the students who know the answer, please comment down in the comment section. The answer will be option C, oxygen. The fourth question is, which of the following terms refer to the variety of different species in an ecosystem? The options are abiotic factors, diversity, trophic levels and finally ecological successions. So the options are abiotic factors, biodiversity, trophic level and ecological succession. Correct option is option number B. The fifth question is, what is the process by which atmospheric nitrogen is converted into the forms that plants can use? What are the options? The options are photosynthesis, nitrogen fixation, denitrification or ammonification. I repeat the options: photosynthesis, nitrogen fixation, denitrification or ammonification. So what will be the answer? The answer will be nitrogen fixation. Our sixth question is, which of the following is a biotic factor in an ecosystem? Options are temperature, soil pH, predator-prey relationship and sunlight intensity. I repeat the options. The options are temperature, soil pH, predator-prey relationship or sunlight intensity. What will be the correct option? The correct option will be option number C, predator-prey relationship. Our seventh question is, which of the following statements about primary succession is correct? So, which of the following statements regarding primary succession is correct? The options are, it occurs on bare rock or barren land. Okay, first option, it occurs on bare rock or barren land. Option number 2 is, it begins with pioneer species like grasses and shrubs. So option number 2 is, it begins with pioneer species like grasses and shrubs. Third option is, it occurs more rapidly than secondary succession. It occurs more rapidly than secondary succession. The fourth option is, involves the return of ecosystem to its original state. So it involves the return of ecosystem to its original state. Correct option is option number A. Which of the following best describes the term keystone species? The options are, species that are highly abundant in an ecosystem, species that are only found in the ocean, species that play a disproportionately large role in maintaining the ecosystem stability. And the fourth option is, species that are easily affected by the changes in the environment. So the correct option is option number C. We come to the ninth question. It says, what is the process by which water vapor is released from plants into the atmosphere? I repeat the question. What is the process by which water vapor is released from plants into the atmosphere? I am telling you the options. The options are transpiration, condensation, evaporation and precipitation. I am again telling you the options. The options are transpiration, condensation, evaporation and precipitation. The correct option is transpiration. The 10th question says, which of the following factors is not a major cause of biodiversity loss? I repeat the question. Which of the following factors is not a major cause of biodiversity loss? What are the options? The options are habitat destruction, pollution, climatic changes or ozone depletion. The options are habitat destruction, pollution, climatic changes or ozone depletion. The correct option is option number 4, ozone depletion. Thus we come to the end of 10 questions. After this, I'll be attaching a practice question for all of you to solve. Please do solve those questions, and if you face any doubts anywhere, please comment down in our comment section. I will try to respond to all your queries as soon as possible. I hope you liked today's video. If you liked the video, do like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have any doubts, any queries, do comment down in the comment section. That's all for today's video. Bye bye.